So, as is a massive tradition, we go through and do all the tier lists, and this one is going to be the best Galaxy Opal cards in 2K21 Myteam. So if you're excited, obviously hit that like button down below, comment as we get on throughout the video if I'm ranking anybody too high or too low for your personal preference, and as well, let me know if I missed anybody. We do have all of the tier lists I will link in the description down below. We're talking the point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, centers tier list. I have a dark matters tier list, a gauntlet spotlight cards tier list. We got everything, invincible tier list even. All of those will be linked in the description down below if you want to check them out and have some fun. And yeah, first let's hear a word from our sponsor, and then we can get right into the main part of the video. If you need your 12-0 unlimited domination, TTO, or even more services grinded, go contact Rose NBA on Twitter right now at twitter.com/r6creditssell. Link in the description down below. And now we got that out of the way, we can get to the main part of the video, which is ranking all of these wonderful Galaxy Opal cards. I think there's a big misconception that, just because they're Opals are not as good, but let me tell you, some of these guys can compete for the top tier spots in the game, and it's actually kind of crazy. So, starting off, obviously, as we do every single time, I'm going to show you guys the hard pass tier, which is a bunch of guys that maybe we're not really feeling too much, and it's all of the season rewind players. I wanted to point this out, that there is only a few cards in this game that I genuinely think are as bad as these cards to be down in this hard pass tier, and it's a lot of these season rewind cards, and there's only a few that are actually above, and I've ranked a few of them because 2K's actually given some semi-decent season rewind players recently. Obviously we'll cover them pretty soon, but I mean, like Zach Collins has a normal release, Yuta, just no thank you, Xavier Tillman, Rashawn Holmes, Peyton Pritchard, all these guys have basically normal or just quick release timings on their jumpers, and it's some of the worst that you could possibly have out there. It's just not worth it. Do not grind for any of these cards besides maybe some of the ones higher up in the tiers. So now we can move on to our still decent tier where we have the wonderful, the beautiful Tyson Chandler. Obviously, we kind of all know what Tyson Chandler brings you at this point. He plays defense, he gets rebounds, and yeah, that's about it. I think this one is a bit of a mid-range, but he has like jump shot 18, one of the worst jumpers, and one of those jumpers that I think most people kind of hate in this game. I think it's the same one as Gary Trent Jr., things like that. It's just not a great one. Also Ron Harper, just yeah, not exactly the greatest of jumpers, but that's up to your preference. He's okay if you're looking for a back to the basket big, but all around, yeah, I just think he's a decent card. Next up is Tony Allen, who has, again, one of the worst jumpers when it comes to being the shooting guard. When it's a center, it's alright, and I think it's jump shot 17 or set shot 17. I think it's set shot. It's okay on centers. I think it's roughly the same jumper as maybe like a Hakeem Elijah one, I think, possibly. And it's alright. It's not great, but Tony Allen's like 6'4" as well at the two guards, so it just really is just a storm of bad things coming in the way of Tony Allen. He's got good defense, but you need to have more than that at this point in the year, and you need a good jumper. Even on very quick, it's still not the greatest. Next up is the man, the myth, the legend, the triple-double machine, Russell Westbrook, who is, again, I think a good card, but the thing that's been killing Westbrook, at least for me personally, is the fact that they have not made Westbrook's jumper quick enough to make it really usable in 2K. Even on very quick this year, I think it's just not one of those jumpers that I'm really getting excited to use. Now, he does have obviously amazing slashing. His all-around stats are just absolutely insane, but the jumper is just way too slow and too easily baited for me personally to want to run him. Next up is Mitchell Robinson, another one of those back-to-the-basket guys that they didn't really give too much of a jump shot. If you're looking for somebody who's going to be in there, play defense, and get rebounds, you know what? Mitchell Robinson is going to do exactly that, but if you're looking for anything else, I think you definitely should stay looking and wait for some of the guys higher up on the list. Next up is a guy who has the best jumper in the game on Next Gen in Jump Shot 3, the same jumper as Denny Avdija, one of my favorites in the game, and it's honestly kind of insane, but they didn't, again, give him the greatest shooting. So if you're looking for a power forward, small forward that can like slash to the basket, play defensive limit a little bit, but not really give you that shooting, Maurice Lucas is there, but you can fix it by adding range and some other gold badges and things like that, but it's a lot of work for a guy that's still going to be alright. Next up is the wonderful Kevin Huerter, who kind of gets love from me just for the fact that he's got the Trae Young base on quick. Yeah, he's a season rewind player, but I think this one's actually halfway decent. It comes with Hall of Fame range, Hall of Fame clamps, that sort of stuff. You can finish a little bit. Again, that Trae Young base is absolutely amazing. Even on quick, it's pretty good, and it's going to be a pretty fun card, I think, to just run around with and chuck up some threes. And, at least my preference. Next is John Stockton, who is saved by the fact that he has a lightning quick release. John Stockton has a super fast jumper, which really helps him out, and he plays pretty good defense, especially for his size and that sort of stuff. I mean, you kind of know what John Stockton does, an undersized guy that, play makes and shoots a little bit, but this one that does a lot of good defense and stuff like that. Now, he's stupid cheap, so if you're looking for a budget PG, he could be fun, but traditional point guards at this day and age that are, 6'1", aren't traditionally that high up on a lot of lists. Next up is the wonderful Hassan Whiteside, who is, again, if you're looking for one of those traditional big men, who has occasionally a bit of a midi, he's going to be good. He can play defense real well, honestly, all around. You can pick up this Hassan Whiteside, but there's just a lot of better options at the center position, to be honest. So, there is that. Next up is DeJounte Murray, a card who honestly had the potential to be an amazing budget Opal PG, but then they decided that they were going to give him a 43 block and a 43 interior defense. So the second that you get off the perimeter, this DeJounte Murray is an absolute cone. He cannot do anything, and it kills it. His jumper's decent. His slashing's pretty good. His defense on the perimeter is amazing. But then the second you get inside, they can just lay up right over you, and it absolutely kills what this Murray could be. Next up, Marcus Smart, a undersized 3-and-D shooting guard, which at this point, just no thank you. I mean, I'm running around with guys like Manu Bull. If you have a Marcus Smart out there, it's going to be barbecue chicken for me at all times. And last but not least is another one of the traditional PGs, 6'3" in John Morant. Absolutely love John Morant in real life, but in 2K, he's kind of just, lagging behind the rest, I guess, because he's 6'3". The PG base is good. He does have okay defense for a guy his size, and his slashing is amazing. But again, shorter PGs at this point in 2K just aren't really usable that often. I mean, it's basically, Luka or taller, and that's about it for what people are running in 2K now. So starting off our pretty damn solid tier is one of the Galaxy Opal PGs that I'm actually really liking right now, and Tyrese Halliburton, man. This Tyrese is everything that the Diamond could do, but just better, as you would expect with an upgrade like that. The Aaron Gordon jumper on very quick is just absolutely amazing. He still gets to the basket, dunks with the best of them. He plays all around amazing defense. His playmaking's great. And again, I just love that Aaron Gordon jumper on very quick on a guard. It just feels so smooth, so clean, and it's just it's a great all-around jumper to have. Next up is one of my favorite cards to just run, especially like a bench piece to just have a fun time with, and that is Rudy LaRusso. Rudy has Jump Shot 21, or the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jumper, on very quick, and it just does everything that I need it to do. I mean, it's so easy to time, it's so nice, it just does literally pieces. And Rudy has absolutely amazing defense, which is a nice jack of all trades card. It's super fun to use, and I just really like having on the squad, and that dunk is pretty solid too. Next up is Lowry Markkanen, a card who I did not know that they actually boosted up his jumper a little bit, but they made Lowry actually not as bad as he used to traditionally be in 2K, because he always had one of those terrible jumpers, like one of those real bad set shots, but they gave him the D-Lo base this year, and I think it actually kind of changed up a little bit for Lowry. He's still not the most amazing defender, but he's a good rebounder, and he's a really good stretch big if that's what you're looking for. Can hit a lot of threes and that sort of stuff, and the D-Lo base is actually pretty nice, so, there is that, and it could change up or sway your decision a little bit depending on what you like, but I actually would say if you're a Bulls fan and you like Lowry, this is probably the best version of him that we've ever had in 2K. Next up is the wonderful man, Kevin Porter Jr., basically a reskinned version of J.R. Smith, but with the very quick jump shot timing, which obviously is going to get brownie points for that, because even their Dark Matters only have it on quick, which is an L, let me tell you that. But Kevin Porter Jr. is just super saucy, super nice, and just a all-around clean scorer that you can use as just that guy to run your offense through, and it's always a great time. Next up is the wonderful Jiang Liang, who is a great 7-foot small forward, power forward, or small forward shooting guard with jump shot 70 as his base, one of the better green window jumpers in the game. And again, it's a super clean, super nice, just all around card, and the ability of a 7-footer to change the game on your on your defense is just out of this world, and you don't know how great he can be till you use him. Yi is just all around great card. I love him, man. Used him for the longest time. Next up, the tallest card in the game, your gamer Son at 7'7" at that center position is great. Plus, you mix that with the Brook Lopez base, and it's awesome. If this Merson came with, the badges like a quick first step, a downhill, that sort of stuff, I think I would rank him higher into the baby demons, even the demons tier. But without those, he feels a little bit clunky, a little bit sluggish, but with them is one of the best cards in the game. So what I can recommend is picking him up, throwing on those playmaking badges, and it's going to change up the game for you with this Merson. Next up is, I think, the last season rewind player that we'll see on this list with Dante DiVincenzo, who's a nice little shooting guard, point guard. He's got jump shot 4 on very quick, which is nice. He's got the awesome defense. He's got good finishing, good shooting, all of that sort of stuff. It's just absolutely amazing on his DiVincenzo card. And again, when it comes to the overall world of these season rewind cards, they're pretty shit. So with Dante actually being a pretty solid card, I had to show him some love and throw him up in the pretty damn solid tier because I think he's actually pretty nice. And I remember his, Ruby back in like 2K19 was an absolute god. Next up is Desmond Mason, who is basically just a Kevin Porter Jr. who cannot play point guard, just small forward at secondary position. Does make him a little bit worse, but even at the shooting guard, I still think he's a great card. His slashing ability is unmatched, man. Desmond Mason gets to the basket with the best of them, and the shooting still gonna be pretty nice with that jump shot 49. So all around, a pretty decent two guard, I'll say that. Next up is Christian Laettner, a card who is getting a lot of slack. I don't know, some people just aren't really feeling the jumper. I don't mind it. I've always liked Christian Laettner cards, and this one's like literally no different. Still absolutely in love with this Christian Laettner card. Does everything that I need him to do. I've been able to time the jumper perfectly fine and just have fun with Laettner in general. I think he can curry and mess around like that on next gen. Just an all around fun card, at least in my opinion. Next up is Chris Mullin, basically a reskinned Jimmy Butler, jump shot 22, some good defense and all around just nice things for Chris Mullin. If you like the Jimmy Butler jumper, you'll love this Chris Mullin. Next up is the wonderful Anthony Davis, just a card who always is nice, man. AD's just got that, long wingspan and just good player build for defense, and it's no different on this one, man. He just does everything that you need him to do. He's just a great card. He's got that, basically, I would say, like that 3-and-D ability as a big man to do everything. Plus, he's still pretty cheesy and pretty quick. I don't love that they gave him the Pro 2 behind the back, despite not being a light enough weight to do it. But it's still a fun card and a great one just to run around as a nice little budget center. And last but not least, in our pretty damn solid tier, we have the wonderful Tyler Hero with the Trey Burke base on very quick and can play that 2 guard and the PG pretty well. The defense on this Tyler Hero is pretty lackluster, I will say that, even though he's got good defensive stats and things like that. It doesn't feel the most amazing, so beware of that. But still an all-around great card that I've had a lot of success with on offense, just getting open and chucking threes. 3-point hunting with this hero is a fun time, man. And now we're starting off the Baby Demons here, which starts off with one of my favorite Opals in the Galaxy Opal Paul George. He's a power forward, small forward. Please run him at the small forward, but PG just has that jumper that for me personally is so easy to time. It is amazing, and it's why the Dark Matter Cameron Reddish is one of my favorite shooting guards in the game, because it's just amazing. Plus, PG just has the defense and just has his all-around ability there, which is awesome. Just one of the best 3-and-D cards in the game. Just come down there, chuck threes, and play defense. Next up is the wonderful Manu Ginobili. My man Manu, always one of my favorite cards every single year. But they gave him the Dante Exum base on very quick, and it makes this Manu just a demon. I'm not really seeing so many people run with these triple threat spotlight cards anymore, which is a shame because Manu was a demon, man. But I can kind of see why with Luka being out, so it makes a little bit of sense. But still, if you haven't got Luka and you need like a card that's basically going to beat him just a little bit worse, I think this Manu is your guy. Next up is Larry Bird, who's a nice little curry sliding cheesy kind of guy, can get to the basket pretty nice, and has a 6'9" frame at that PG position, which is great. The Larry Bird jumper, a little bit slow for those that like the faster jumpers, may not be the most amazing, but still great, and I've had a lot of success with this Bird, had a lot of fun. Did a gameplay on him and that sort of stuff, which is a great all-around card, and was super fun just have on the court, man. The out-of-position packs, well, cheesy and annoying sometimes, can really bring a lot of good, nice options to the game, and Larry Bird is one of them. Next up is the beautiful Kyle Anderson. I feel like I'm the only person that gets excited about Kyle Anderson cards, because this dude is literally a mini Giannis to me with the Brook Lopez base. He's like a better Giannis because the jumper is just that much better. I just absolutely love this Kyle Anderson. The defensive ability he brings is just crazy. Plus, that Brook Lopez base is so easy to time, so consistent, and just so great all around that I just always love using him. And he gets the basket pretty nice with that long wingspan, that skinny on his build. Just all around a beautiful card. Next up is a card who's actually crazy in a Galaxy Opal Kevin Love. The Kevin Love jumper kind of reminds me of like a Rudy Gay or like a what is it? Jump shot 22 kind of thing, and it's awesome, man. I've been able to get so consistent with this Kevin Love base. That gameplay was so fun to record. His defense is actually crazy. This Kevin Love's out here dunking on people like he's prime Jordan, which is just unreal. Just a great all-around power forward option. I think he's like 9-ish K now because he's gone up a little bit in price. But all around, just a beautiful option for anybody that needs a good all-around power forward to do like a little bit of everything for them. Just an all-around really fun card. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Davis Bertans, a 6'10" power forward with jump shot 13. That is one of the best shooters in the game. That's really what I'm putting this Davis up here for. The fact that he is as good of a shooter as he is skyrockets him up the list. I don't care what anybody else has to say about it. Next up is one of my favorite cards. I've seen somebody say that Danilo Gallinari ain't all that, and it's the biggest cap that I've ever heard. This Danilo Gallinari is absolutely insane. That jumper is absolutely prime. He's a 6'10" cheese and power forward that can curvy slide on next gen and get all shifty and amazing, get inside. Was one of the most fun gameplays that I've recorded, and this card all around is, I think, a power forward, small forward option is going to be a super great guy there. Kind of, you get the same, I guess, cheesiness as you would get or expect with a Bull for like a fraction of the price. Last time I saw it was like 14K. Really great all-around option that I, again, highly recommend for anybody at a budget. Run Delino at the small forward, Kevin Love at the 4, and it's going to be a fun time for you out there. Next up is the wonderful man Christian Wood, who is basically a budget version or a free version of Bill Russell, I guess, or an easier version to get of Bill Russell because Bill's free as well. Ray Allen base on very quick, just like Bill, can curry slide, can get cheesy, and it's just all-around fun card. And every time a card has a Ray Allen base, it, I think, gives them a base almost of pretty damn solid as long as it has a good release timing, which obviously he does on very quick. Next up is my mini version of Bull again in Chris Boucher. Has jump shot 15, which is his signature jumper, and it is super funny. Or fun to use, not funny. And he gets to the basket with the best of them, dunks on everybody, and the defense he brings just amazing. To me, he kind of feels like a mix of like a Bull and a Giannis. Like he just had a hybrid of the two and put them out there, and it's just, it is great, man. The ability that he brings on both ends is just beautiful. Again, not a card that too many people get excited about, but you are missing out if you haven't tried out a Boucher card or two, because he is actually a crazy card. Next up is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who got paid a massive bag and then fell off the face of the earth, Chandler Parsons. 6'10" center power point guard, but obviously better as the point guard. Just all around great option out there at the PG. When you're using a 6'10" guy that can curry slide and can have some fun, yeah, he's going to be a good guy. Chandler Parsons is going to be an all-around pretty great option, mainly on next gen, so there's that, but, you know, is what it is. And last but not least, for our Baby and Zebans here, we have the man of the hour, Jeff Green. This glitch Jeff Green is amazing, man. Jump shot 50 is a jumper that I didn't know was great until I used the Emerald Jeff Green and was like, God damn, this thing crazy. And on top of that, Jeff Green just has, like, you know, that it factor when it comes to defense. I've been able to lock so many people up so easily with Jeff Green guards this year. It's been crazy. Plus, he gets to the basket and he dunks on everybody like it's his job. Just an all-around fun card that I've loved every single version of him. And again, I highly recommend him for anybody that hasn't used him. As a small forward, not too many better budget options. And now we can get into the best of the best, the Demon tier Galaxy Opals, which is starting off with the PG West Unseld, who is just absolutely amazing. The Kobe Bryant base on very quick. He's traditionally a center, so they gave him amazing interior defense, awesome rebounding, and he still has that perimeter boost for being a PG. He shoots the best of them. He dunks everybody. He's just an all-around great card. I love every time we get a new YBC in the game, and this one really did not disappoint. Next up is the wonderful, the beautiful Steven Jackson. If you loved the Dark Matter Terry, this one is basically just another version of him. Steven Jackson, Rudy Gay base, amazing defense, amazing shooting, one of the best 3-and-D cards in the game, and I just love that Rudy Gay base. Arguably a top 10 to 5 jumper in the game, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I really like to run this, you know, Steven Jackson's like an off-ball kind of 2 guy. I'll cheese up with Luka and then dish it to him whenever he's open, and it always works in my favor if I'm being honest. So all around, great card. Next up is one of my favorite guys to recommend as a PG if you don't have Luka on current gen, in Josh Smith. He's got a 6'9" frame, and the defense that this Josh Smith has is just crazy. There's some cards who, you know, have good defensive stats but don't really feel like they're good defensive, like a Tyler Hero. And then there's cards like Josh Smith who have really good defensive stats, and goddamn do they play good on defense. Plus, he's an amazing slasher, as you would expect with Josh Smith, and as the John Wall jumper. So he's a 6'9" John Wall that's cheesing, playing defense, and just doing everything that you want. All around, amazing guy to have with that PG, especially on current gen. Next up is the wonderful Galaxy Opal James Wiseman. Now, we do have the Dark Matter now, which is obviously up there as one of the best cards in the game, but this Opal is still absolutely amazing. A slight step down from his Dark Matter, but still has the Curry base on very quick. Still is a 7'1" center that can Curry slide, can cheese with the best of them, So he's still in the demon tier without a doubt, at least to me personally. If you disagree, that's fine. I get it, but this Wiseman is a demon. Next up is the wonderful man Dino Raja. You guys know I have a strong bias towards Dino Raja. One of my favorite cards every single time we get a new one of him. Jump shot 4 isn't my favorite jumper, but I tolerate it for Dino. The defense that he has with that 7'11" wingspan is just beautiful. As a power forward, I think he's a great option. Just as a card, I think he's a great option, honestly. Gets inside, and the rebounding that he just has with his awesome vertical and great wingspan always is going to be an A+ in my book, so go Dino. Next up is the wonderful DeAndre Hunter. I don't know what it is about this DeAndre Hunter, but again, just feels like one of the best 3-and-D options that you could possibly have in the game. The gameplay that I recorded with him was super fun. He was just absolutely killing it. And he's a super nice budget option as well. So overall, I really recommend this DeAndre Hunter to anybody that needs a a 2-guard to come in and fill it up. I think he's got like jump shot 32 or something like that. I'm very quick. It's great. It's awesome. I love him. Next up is the out of position Kevin Durant. Now this one is at the shooting guard position. I've played a few people that have used him at the center, and it will cause some mismatches. I will say that because you're not used to having such a cheesy guy there playing the center, but definitely better as a 2-guard in my opinion. Just as good as the Invincible and stuff like that. It's really not that much of a difference. Sells the KD jumper on very quick. Still can curry slide. Still can get cheesy. A great card, and he's pretty cheap as well. And last but not least is DeMar DeRozan, basically the budget version of his Dark Matter. Still has a trade break base on very quick, still can curry slide, still just as good at getting to the basket and dunking on everybody, still has amazing defense. Like, he's basically the same as the Dark Matter, just very, very slightly worse. So if you wanted to pick him up, that Dark Matter for insanely cheap, pick up the Opal. I promise you it's not that big of a difference. So that's what we have for our best Galaxy Opals tier list. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Would you move some guys up, move some guys down? Did I leave anybody out that you wanted to see in here? And make sure that you check out all the other tier lists in the description down below for anybody that's wondering. Again, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We are on that road to 10K subscribers. We are so close up to getting at like 140 away, which is absolutely wild. So please hit that subscribe button. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.